Hi boys and girls, we're going to look at 2021 DSE paper writing, part B, question 2. We're going to do an analysis on question 2. So you can have a look. They asked you to pick one of the questions in part B. And normally I recommend everybody to spend 5 minutes picking and deciding which topic you're going to write. Here it said 400 words minimum. However, if you want to get level 5, 4 or 5 basically, the number of words should be more than this. Let's have a look at the samples. I've got 2 samples for you. Let's have a look at the question. Is topic 2, learning English through social issues. Maybe you've learned the topic electric cars before. Another word for cars would be vehicles. And this is the situation. And it said that, let me get the highlighter and you'll highlight it with me. It's more environmentally friendly than petrol cars. But we don't have a lot of people using it. Okay, only 3% of all the vehicles sold in 2020 worldwide were electric. It's only 3%, even though it brings so much better impact on our environment. It's less, let's just say less impact on our environment. You're writing a letter to the editor, to Hong Kong Post. You must explain the reasons why sales of electric cars are so low. And then you have to make some suggestions of what can be done. Okay, what can be done to make people obviously drive these vehicles, these electric cars. All right, so we've looked at the question. You know that it's letter to the editor. You're writing to the target audience will be the readers of Hong Kong Post, the newspaper. The tone should be semi-formal because it's kind of a serious topic, and the public is going to read this. You need to be polite, and of course, if you can, try to be persuasive. Yeah, persuasive means that hopefully people will share the same point of view as you after they read your arguments. All right, and you are trying to convince others to agree with you. That's why you're writing this article, this letter. Here are some strategies you can use for this topic. In terms of content, make sure you state your point of view, whether you think there should be more electric cars, and the answer should be yes. In this writing, you're supposed to say that you agree, you are supporting this movement, changing all the petrol cars to electric cars. And then if you can, add 2 examples with elaboration to illustrate your point of view. For example, you share an anecdote. An anecdote would be like a story or your experience or other people's experience in using the electric car, for example. And the task requirement would be 2 reasons, at least 2 reasons. Imagine that you only have 1 reason and you're asked to write 400 words. That means you need to write 200 words for 1 reason. That's a lot. So I would suggest you to roughly use 100 words to describe 1 reason. That would be more sensible and easier for you. But of course, if you've got lots of elaboration for 1 single reason, why not? Yes, you can do that. But we do have to have a look and see if in the first point we see that they want more than 1 reason. Nope. Here it only asks why. So you can just give 1 reason. The next point suggests what can be done. Again, they didn't specify how many suggestion you have to give. That's why you can, if it's me, I would write 2 suggestions. I will give 2 suggestions because then it's easier for me. 100 words for each suggestion. All right. By the way, this one should be without S. Okay. Moving on. If you can, try to add statistics, which is a little bit difficult because you're not in front of a computer in DSE. That's why every time you learn something from LS or try from reading comprehension, for example, try to remember one statistic for that specific topic. You can start now. You can do some research and make yourself remember some easy statistics. For example, Tesla makes electric cars, and maybe you can think of how many Tesla cars are there in Hong Kong and where do they get it charged and so on. So like numbers, how many charging stations are there in Hong Kong, for example? Is it convenient? Then number 5, show awareness to the audience by asking question if you can. Although it's a letter to the editor and you're trying to be semi-formal, I think it's okay to ask a question and then provide the answer straight away, all right? But you briefly make the readers think, so that's a good strategy. State the majority have the same point of view. Now, although what you've written would be your point of view, you can try to include the public. You can say the majority of the people in the world, they actually prefer electric cars, for example. So this is I won't say it's exaggerating, but I'm sure there should be more than one person who has the same point of view as you. So you can just try to state that the majority, they have the same point of view to make yourself more convincing. All right. For language, sophisticated wordings, just like in part A, and then rule of 3 if you can. Now, I didn't see rule of 3 being used in the 2 samples here, but you can try. You know how to make that work. Create the appropriate tone and text type. This is letter to the editor. You have to be semi-formal and try to be persuasive. Sophisticated language patterns, just like in the last writing, inversion if you can, and then some other strategies we've mentioned before. However, in this writing, you're trying to be objective, right? When you're trying to convince people indirectly, so you want to maybe use more passive voice, more passive voice to state your ideas. Instead of, oh, I thought of this, you could just say, it is thought that, it is thought that, it is claimed that, and then you tell people what do you think. All right, I'll write format. This is the format, dear editor, with capital letter E, and then you start with I'm writing to share my view on a certain topic. You end your letter by restating your point of view, which I think is important, restating your point of view. And then you end with some kind of hope that the stakeholders might do, okay? So you're looking forward to seeing something. You end with best regards and you sign your name as Chris Wong if the name is not given. Sophisticated signpost words should be used.